We're on?
We're on.
All right, welcome to another Foil Drive podcast. I am lucky enough to be here at Paul Cooper's hometown in Hawaii, and he's been hosting me for the week. And we just had like a really special week filming a pretty amazing Foil Drive project. We traveled from Oahu. We traveled from Molokai to Oahu on our foil drives. And this is something that's never been done before. I think it was the furthest voyage that anyone's ever done on a foil drive unit on our little prone boards. And we're going to kind of just have like a little bit of a debrief of the week that was, the lead up to it, how the actual journey was, and how we actually felt after we did the crossing. So how did the week start? We were pretty lucky with like waves, right?
From the moment you touched down. Because you came in and that was like the last day of what have been weeks of awful conditions. Like it's been weeks of kind of weird winds, storms, and like you kind of had the tail end. I think the day that you came in, it was a little bit onshore, but there was swell.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day,
I've never seen that South Shore with waves over 1 foot before, and it was like easy 6 foot.
Oh, easy!
Like not like the conditions that you like postcard Hawaii where you come in, it's blue sky, hot. It was like I arrived and it was like still raining a bit. It was grey sky, but it was solid.
Yeah,
like big.
Yeah, definitely waves, and then the winds were southerly, so it was kind of that onshore. But then next day when I linked up with you first thing in the morning, it was just like still great, but just wind switched offshore and just pumping.
Yeah, we kind of we went to like it's kind of a foil drive spot now. It's a spot that's kind of like on the main part of Waikiki, but it's not really that well. It's not achievable by the prone because it's such a big lump of swell that comes in and it doesn't break often.
I think Kahi's attempted to prone it, but it's difficult because it just comes in from so far out. It sometimes like you can't really sit in the spot that it breaks because it doesn't always
shifty, right?
It breaks all over the place. There isn't like a set reef shelf or anything that it breaks on. So
and unless you're like a gun sup guy who can like take off on,
even then that water is moving really fast.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult. But with foil drive, it was
we were like, what were we doing? We were kind of just like flat watering out of the channel there and then just like boosting out on a 45 to these like big mounds of swell. And it was kind of like we were backcountry snowboarding, just bombing down all these like massive like swell lines. And we were fortunate enough where, because I think it can get maybe busy with surfers, but I think the weather really just deterred everyone and we had the whole place to ourselves.
Yeah.
And we were just like zigzagging around each other. And
yeah, it was epic. I mean, I feel like, inside was still a little bit like wonky, which kind of like deterred like a lot. Yeah. So it was basically just us and then maybe a couple other foil drivers that are here on island. So it was insane.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Like every time I come to Hawaii, for me, it's the most populated with foilers. Like last time I came, foil drive wasn't. I don't think Gen 2 was even around then, but it was just the amount of prone foilers was incredible. But now you can see that like foil drive's really catching on and they're finding like all these spaces that are like perfect for it. Like it's not like the prone zone. It's kind of more of this outer reef that maybe prone guys don't really want to paddle to. And it's cool that like there's some spots that are like known for foil driving and some that are known for prone. So it's working itself out. I think people are being super respectful with like not annoying anyone else in the lineup. But that was a really good warm up to our start of the week because we were like, this is like a downwind film that we're filming, but we were like, well, we just got amazing waves, so we might as well get some surf clips.
So like super rare. And I want to say last year there wasn't one swell that came in that was that size. Let alone we had a whole week of and actually I think that first day that we surfed that Saturday or whatever, that was supposed to be the biggest day, but every day got bigger and cleaner and more perfect. It was just a perfect run of swell, and then fast forward into our crossing, which that day for what we wanted to do was perfect.
Because we would have been pretty unlucky if, say, that was the week before, because the winds were Kona winds, right? Going the wrong way.
I think if you came the week before, we would have canceled it.
Right. So to get, 2 days before our date that we planned to do the crossing, we got 2 amazing days of surf. And then like the day that we were doing the crossing, it's like the first day the trades came back.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your... Like, you're not a downwind guy. You're pretty honest about that. Like, you are a foil drive guy. Like, when everyone thinks of foil drive, they think of Paul Cooper. However, like, this is a different, like, category. Like, this is downwind. Like, you're getting assisted by getting up, but you were barely using your motor when you were going. So tell us about your, like, downwind experience and what you...
lack thereof. My lack thereof experience. So I guess I've been pretty late to the downwind game. I think because I took up winging, and that just took up a lot of my time. So anytime it was windy, I kind of chose that over downwinding. And other reasons why, which stopped me from downwinding and stuff like that. Just the area that I live in wasn't conducive for it. So, so pretty limited experience. I was almost about to delve into doing the SUP, after Hood River last year, and seeing everybody just having so much fun in what was unreal, gnarly conditions and almost impossible to wing. I was just like, okay, I gotta suck it up, just take the time, learn how to SUP. But then 2 weeks later, I get involved with foil drive, and it's
see you later.
See you later.
I wrote it. I wrote your SUP.
Yeah, I know. You gotta still have it.
Yeah. You got a SUP made, which was impressive, but I think had a few cobwebs on it when I dusted it.
Somebody had to use it. So pretty limited experience, and I was definitely nervous going into
Yeah, but you've
crossing.
I've seen like on the internet, you've done a few Hawaii kais now with the foil drive, so you weren't fully green. Like,
it wasn't like I was just, first crack at doing it. So I was able to kind of get to a point where I was able to read bumps and, proficient on popping up. So I wasn't too nervous, but I just never did anything to that magnitude. The longest run that I did was Hawaii Kai, which is only about 10 miles. So this is 3 times that.
Yeah.
So I was definitely nervous about it, but was blown away with the experience. It was just so sick. Such an amazing...
We had a good team. We had an amazing boat captain. We had Jacko, which is like a crazy waterman. We had Kahi, who's like the original downwind lord. And amazing like production crew. We had Matt Leong, who was like directing the whole thing, and then Slater from Maui, and a few of the local kind of FPV guys. We had the A-team. We were crushing it.
Yeah.
So it was cool, and I think like with all the nerves that were leading up to it, I think we were all kind of like leaning on each other for like kind of different experiences, because like I've crossed the channel once before. I'm no guru at all, and like I was nowhere near as nervous as the first time I crossed the channel, because it's just got such a aura about it. Like, Molokai to Oahu, everyone calls it like the most gnarly downwind that you can do. Like, that channel is just so deep. It's got so many different kind of like characteristics to it. Like the start's kind of like nice, and the middle's like freaking insane.
So
and then
sick.
The end is like, it feels like the energy's going back to Molokai. Like it feels like you can't even get into Oahu.
Yeah, it was like, I want to say like 5 different types of runs in one run. Like you said, every kind of part was like so sick, but so different. I mean, like one part, it was almost like peaks, like wind bumps that were peaks, like a skate park. It was crazy. So
paint the picture, like we kind of, for what we've been told, because we're both not experienced with the crossing, is it was probably, Jack said, a 2 out of 10 day. And Slater, who's got a lot of experience filming it, he was like, oh yeah, it was 2 or 3 out of 10.
But that was a 12 out of 10 for me. It was so
I don't know
sick.
what
Like,
a 10 out of 10 day would
no.
be. Like,
I
I feel
mean-
like you'd have to wear like a velodrome helmet
Yeah.
and like put on the craziest foil ever. Like,
Yeah.
I was going Mach 10. I
Oh,
don't know
no.
if I want to go any faster.
No, like it's crazy. Yeah, like I would look back and I would see you behind me, and you would just be like up this mountain of water, and it would just be so huge, these swells that were coming in. So I don't know if it was like twice that. Like I'd be so scared.
Yeah, I was
like,
seeing the boat like going down and then back up the thing, and I was going, oh, like huge.
so crazy.
But yeah, we kind of, the whole idea was we really wanted to prove that with the foil drive assist, you can get up and you can just hit the channel, you know, not have to switch out batteries or anything. I don't think, no one really switched out.
I did.
But
I'll
right
say
at
that.
the end, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, to be honest, like, if I wanted to, I could have gone all the way through with the battery that I had, but I knew we wanted to, you know, get a few shots and things like that. So yeah, so I mean, I swapped out, and but you should talk about what you did, because to me that is probably the most impressive thing about all this. Like we you know, like we got some great footage and everything, but at the end of the day, for you to do that run on a slim performance battery, which is the least amount of runtime out of any of the Gen 2s, and not come down once, like that, to me, is one of the most impressive things about what we just did.
Thank you. No, that was like a big goal of mine when I got on board with this project. I really wanted to kind of like prove to myself that I can do this in one shot. And last year I got really close with the SUP. I pretty much got to China Wall, and then just all the reverb from the cliff, and just being exhausted from, you know, doing 27 miles across the channel. It's just a lot to focus on, a lot to deal with, and your body's just so fatigued. So it was kind of like a real personal goal for me to be able to do it. And I wanted to come in and show that I still had some juice left on the battery. So I literally went the whole way from where you would start. So we started where the new M20 race start is, but I finished at the original spot, which is just in the bay there at, is it Port Lock?
Yeah.
So I think many people would know if they've followed the M20 races, that bay in there, when you come in, it's straight offshore, stiff offshore. You know, we were lucky enough the day of the crossing that we did that there was still some residual swell. So they was able to ride swells in, but it's a hard offshore. And we had like a super special moment where you, me, and Kahi were like riding these waves in. Jack fucked around and he missed the wave, but whatever. Like, I remember it was a special moment.
Yeah.
Paul was like, "Don't come near me. My legs don't work.
I can't." So Kahi's coming right at me. I'm like, Kahi, I can't move. My legs don't work. My brain doesn't work. He was like, whoa. Like he's like, I can't turn. Like my body is just shut down right now.
And then I was just so tunnel vision with getting to the beach, because for me, I was like, I want to step off on Oahu and be like, I've done it. And I got really lucky. I connect from all the different like little waves in Port Lock, and then just did the full pump to the finish. and I got there. So I was
congrats, man.
Thank you. No, appreciate it. But yeah, we got like, when I say 2 out of 10 for the crossing, like for people who haven't done the crossing before, like 2 out of 10 for me was like a 10 out of 10 back home. Like, I don't know if Hawaiians just have such bigger expectations, but like that was like, it was still 15 knots.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, I think when they compare it to like I guess it's like, you wouldn't pick, like if we had like endless amount of resources and days or whatever, and you wanted it to be like the best, quickest run, I guess that wouldn't be a day, just because the winds were a little light. But there was still plenty of wind. Not too crazy, but the bumps to me were still huge.
Yeah,
like I can't even imagine if it's like 30 knots, like how big those bumps would be. Like it would be insane.
I think now, like doing the crossing twice, the first time I crossed it was very similar to that day, and I feel like it's not so much wind, it's current against wind. And that's what's making it so crazy out there. Because like in the middle of the channel, probably where it's its deepest, it's just like insane. But the winds are still the same strength.
Yeah.
And then you come in closer to land and it's just like everything just becomes more mellow and mellow. And yeah. But what else can we talk about the crossing? Was there any other like
I
nervous
mean,
moments?
should I talk about the bananas?
Yeah, why not?
So to further prove my inexperience with all of this stuff, I didn't know bananas are a thing with boats. And even we have our group chat on WhatsApp, whatever, for this project and everything. And Josh is asking, hey, what do you guys want for tomorrow? I'll grab some food. And then Kahi said, oh, yeah, bananas. And I thought he was dead serious. Like he wanted bananas. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Potassium will help you not cramp up. So I had a little thing of fruit and I brought a couple bananas. And so we had like the best like boat ride over to Molokai. Like it was like as smooth as you can get and as fast as you could probably do it. And then as soon as we go and we anchor and kind of get ready for the run, I bust out my banana and I start eating. He's like, dude, you brought a banana. And I could, and Dean, our captain, like just completely like ignored me, turned around, like he wanted no part of what that was. And I was just like, what? I have no idea. But like everything worked. I had some minor technical difficulties, but everything was fine. So like I'm stoked.
So being a like that was definitely by far the longest journey you've ever done on the downwind. Was there anything that you learned like after you clocked over your 10Ks, like the max that 10 miles that you've ever done before? Were you like, did your body start doing weird things in the sense of like, was it hungry, or were you like thinking like, I don't know, did you have a headache from the sun or anything?
No, I think, yeah, I was definitely, because I knew it was going to be long. So it wasn't like I was definitely pacing myself in the beginning.
You had a camel pack on, right?
I had a camel pack, which I feel like I probably should have drank more of it like throughout the run. But I was just, I don't know. I was just like really into reading the bumps and trying to like stay up with you guys and stuff like that. So, but yeah, just pace myself. I mean, I'll definitely try to come into it in better shape, I think. But even with that, I felt like it was, doable, and my body at the end was toast. But throughout the run, like I think when it mattered the most, as far as like being able to handle some of those bombs, and those bumps, like I felt okay. So
did you actually cramp or no?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
I think maybe only at the very end, like my pinky toe started cramping a little bit, but like, I mean, I was definitely sore, but no cramps, which like
great.
I was really stoked about.
And then did you have like a special breakfast or anything leading up to it, or did you have snacks in your camel pack?
No snacks.
Oh, wow.
And then, because like I'll eat like protein early in the morning after I get up, so that kind of holds me throughout the early morning. And then I just had some fruits on the boat, some bananas. Maybe it was the bananas. That's why I didn't cramp.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
I had in my camel pack this like hydration mix, which has like carbs, electrolytes, and like magnesium and all that. And it's like I was using it as a test for the races this year because I was going to see if I could not eat anything.
Mm.
And I reckon at around the 20-mile mark, did one pump, and I felt my whole thigh, my back thigh go boom, like nearly, like, borderline.
Yeah.
And then
like
I just,
that shock.
Yes. And then I was like, that was my body going like, no, enough now, enough pumping. And then I luckily, just before we started the crossing, I looked in my camel pack like pouch, and I had like a gel from last year. I made sure the expiry date was still good. And I like quickly grabbed that and like ripped that open, and it tastes horrible. But like I sucked that in, and like I swear 5 minutes later, all that was gone again. So sick. Like to me, I'm still gonna like have those gel things because I think they're such good direct like fuel that your body needs because I don't know, that stuff's made to just hit you instantly. But
instant absorption.
Yeah, versus like I know people sometimes will put like mandarins in their thing, like try to do it more natural, but like I don't know, my body was craving something, and like I was lucky. Like I straight away, the biggest thing for me was like I think I said it to you after like the 5th mile or something. I was like, dude, I'm overheating like massively. I had a hat on, I had so much like zinc and sunscreen, but like I was just like the sun was just killing me, and like I was every now and then I was like took my hat off and I was getting like really close to the water and like dipping my hat and then throwing it back on. Yeah.
Oh, no way. I didn't even see you do that. That's crazy.
But it wasn't working because the like water's like warm. Like it's not like it's not it helped a little bit, but like it's risky.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, if you're in a race environment and you're mucking around trying to dip your hat in the water, but like it worked. But like
I mean, it was like the sun was just blaring. There was like hardly any clouds on the sky.
Yeah.
Which was like ideal for what we wanted and what we were doing with filming and everything. So yeah, I'm sure like if it's like normal race conditions, it would be probably cloudier. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
Who knows, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we were definitely like we were cruising through that channel. Like we were I think when we first got going, everyone was so excited because it was so sick. And we were all just like ripping turns. Like
I wasn't. I could see you guys. I see you, Jack. You're just like full circle. I'm like, I want no part of that. Like I know that this is gonna be long. Like I'm not buying into this.
Well, then I was doing like instead because I was like so keen on not coming down. Like instead of coming down and powering back up, I was pumping back upwind.
Which is crazy.
And then like
after, like, all right, let's get together. And I just see you pumping back. Like I'm not doing that.
And then I think after like the 5th time I did that, I was like, no, I can't sustain this.
No way.
But no, it was pretty magic, and like we'll leave it for another podcast, like Jack and Kahi's experience, because I think everyone had like a pretty personal experience. And like for me, when we came into China Wall and we had that moment where we just like looked at each other, we're like, we just fucking did that.
So
like
sick.
So gnarly. Like
so
and
sick.
I just like I think it's so cool how someone like yourself, who's like an amazing foiler but like doesn't have a lot of downwind experience, can just smash that out. Like wow. Like that's so impressive. Like you know.
Well, I think just the comfort of what the foil drive brings as far as the pop-up. Like if I was on a sup and I was like, did the kind of runs that I've done, like I would definitely be extremely nervous, and I think that would affect the run as well. But but I'm just so confident in the pop-up because the tool just provides that. So
totally.
Like
and you came down a couple times.
Oh yeah, I fell a few times and came down and stuff. So I was not immune to like falling.
I feel like 99% of the time when you're doing a downwind and you're on a sup and you come down, the energy you use to get back up again, like literally, it's like smashing your battery on foil drive. Like it just brings it down so much because like you're already tired, you're using so much energy to get going, and sometimes it's a false start. You try to get going and you don't get going, and then your battery's really far down. Yeah. So I guess and then also takes away like these challenges are such a mental like kind of challenge. So if you take out that anxiety of not being able to get up, you can enjoy yourself more. Hey.
Oh yeah. Like I was definitely in the moment. I mean, a few times I think where I was kind of veered off by myself. I just had like a moment where I'm just like, this is like the most beautiful, like insane, intense, like wonderful thing that I've experienced. Like it was just amazing. Yeah. It was
well, I'm glad that I did it with you.
So stoked.
I think I got to get to the airport.
Yep. That's where you go. You got to get back up.
But no, that was awesome. And we will be releasing this film hopefully at the time of the M2O races in July. We should have it edited up soon, and we're super excited to release it to everyone and showcase our experiences. And I think like Matt, the filmer, said this is some of the best foiling footage he's ever seen. So stoked to be a part of this.
It's going to be waves, crossing. Yeah. It's going to have it all. It's going to be sick.
All right. Thank you. See you later. I just looked at my watch. It's like 9:30. Oh shit.